All right, good afternoon, everyone. I call the September 21st, 2023 Arts Commission meeting to order. Can I have a roll call, please?
Chair Clevin.
Here.
Vice Chair Placer. Here. Second Vice Chair Hackett Morgan.
Here.
Commissioner Curran is excused. Commissioner Sproat.
Here.
Commissioner Hampton.
Here.
Commissioner Benarchik.
Here.
Commissioner Roberts. Excused. Commissioner Westfield.
Here.
Commissioner Douglas.
Here. Thank you.
Commissioner Dodson.
Here.
And Commissioner DeSantis.
Here.
Thank you. You have a quorum.
Are we in compliance with open meeting law?
Yes, we are.
Great. We'll move on to item 3, public comment. Comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. If you wish to be heard, please come forward and give your name for the record. The amount of discussion as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. Do we have member public comment from anyone? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to item 4. For possible action to approve the final minutes by reference of the regular meeting of the Arts Commission and the Education Subcommittee of the Arts Commission meeting of June 15th, 2023, and the Project Development Subcommittee of the Arts Commission meeting of August 17th, 2023. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Commissioner Hackett Morgan, so moved.
Do we need a second?
Commissioner Westfield, I second.
Okay. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, great. Item has passed. And then we'll move on to item 5. A report regarding a monthly summary of current initiatives, cultural events, and opportunities. And just one second. The educational workshop survey is open until Sunday, September 30th. Please share your input to help the public art program implement workshops and mentorship opportunities for artists. Take the survey and view other artist opportunities at artsregistrylos.vegas. Join us for a reception to celebrate the completion of the AMP Utility Cabinet Painting Project in the 18B Las Vegas Arts District on October 5th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Inside Style, 1117 South Main Street. The Las Vegas Book Festival will be held on Saturday, October 21st, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the historic Fish Street School, 401 South 4th Street. This event is free and open to the public, but reserving a spot at LasVegasBookFestival.com is encouraged. Join us in the celebration of the cross-cultural connections between Mexico and Las Vegas with our second annual collaborative exhibition with the Consulate of Mexico in Las Vegas. Located in the Mayor's Gallery at the historic Fish Street School, 401 South 4th Street. Gallery hours are Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5:30. This exhibition is free and open to the public and on display through Wednesday, November 1st. For more information about these events and more Department of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs programming, please visit www.artslasvegas.org or call 702-229-ARTS. All right, commissioners, any items going on? Any happenings that you'd like to mention?
Hi there, this is Commissioner Douglas. Just wanted to highlight an exhibition, the Iha Ihe Iho Ihep Sesu exhibition curated by Giovanni Garanda, Cesar Piedra, and Manny Munoz of Scrambled Eggs. That's taking place at the Nulu Art Gallery and Community Center, going on now until December 7th. Gallery hours are Thursdays and Fridays from 4 to 8 p.m. and Saturdays from noon till 4 p.m., located at 1331 South Maryland Parkway. I also wanted to highlight a multicultural event taking place next weekend, September 30th, at the historic West Side School. It is the Centennial Celebration, recognizing the history of Las Vegas and moving forward with a parade and celebration. It's going to be, a lot of fun. Hope everybody could turn out.
This is Commissioner Sproat. I just want to let everyone know that the anniversary for 1 October is happening on 1 October. The sunrise ceremony service is at the Clark County Government Center. After that service, anyone that's there is available to come into the Rotunda Gallery. At the gallery is a selection of our creative expressions that came out back last year as a call of action to see creative art through, artists' responses to 1 October. Those responses then were shown to all 5 design teams, and so therefore, in addition to that exhibit is the final selected concept for our 1 October memorial. And you could view that model there. There's also video as well. And then there's a few other items in that exhibit. So anyone is open and welcome to go to it. It's up and running now, Monday through Thursday from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And again, then on that Sunday at 7:30 a.m., it's a wonderful ceremony if you want to come. Thank you.
Commissioner DeSantis, I'd like to announce that Sun City Summerlin Art Club will present their 30th annual Fine Art Show Saturday, November 4th and Sunday, November 5th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Desert Vista Community Center at 10360 Sun City Boulevard. The admission and parking are free.
And this is Commissioner Clevin. I just wanted to announce that the Neon Museum's Duck Duck Shed programming is coming up October 4th to October 7th. And then I wanted to spotlight the exhibition downstairs at the Grand Gallery. The Persona, Debbie Reynolds in Las Vegas, is going to be on exhibit until October 26th and was curated in collaboration with the Duck Duck Shed programming. Commissioners, any other items? Commissioners on the line, any items? Okay. Hearing none.
I forgot about one more. Oh, go ahead.
Nope, go ahead, Fawn.
The Las Vegas Paiute Tribe's 31st annual Snow Mountain Powwow is being held on Indigenous Peoples Weekend, October 6th, 7th, and 8th at the Snow Mountain Reservation. You can find information about this on lvpaiutetribe.com website. And this event is open to the public, and it's going to be an amazing celebration of Native American culture, dances. There's going to be arts and crafts vendors, and a lot of different foods. So I hope that people can come out for that amazing event. Thank you.
All right, great. Moving on to item 6, a report by Cultural Affairs staff regarding current percent for the arts projects. This affects all wards.
This is Mary Sabo for the record. So as usual, you all have a copy of our staff report document in your binders, and we're going to be going through this presentation to provide updates on our current percent for the arts projects. And this will be the last time you see some of these projects on the staff report document and in our PowerPoint presentation. Some of these projects are closed out, and we will be starting semi-fresh in October. And I need to grab the clicker. Okay, so here is a look at our upcoming Arts Commission schedule. October 19th will be our next Education Subcommittee meeting at 3:30 with the regular meeting directly afterwards at 4 p.m. November's regular meeting will be held on the 16th at 4 p.m. and the December meeting has been preemptively canceled. December is typically a very slow month with many commissioners and staff members absent, and it may be difficult to establish a quorum, so we're going to go ahead and cancel the December meeting, and then we will resume in January. And we wanted to take a moment to recognize Commissioner Mickey Sproat for her 6 years of commitment to serve on the Las Vegas Arts Commission. Thank you, Mickey, for your dedication to the arts in Las Vegas, and we will miss having you on the Arts Commission.
Thank you. Where are you going?
This is Commissioner Cleve, and I just want to interject and say thank you so much, Mickey. You've done so much for this Arts Commission and for the city, just really advancing arts in the public realm. So thank you so much for your commitment to this.
Cool. Thank you.
And we do have a swag bag for you. Okay, so getting right into it, here's an overview list of all of our current percent for the arts projects with current project expenditures. And we will go ahead and get into these.
Rebecca Holden. So the 3rd Street East Ogden Avenue to East Fremont Street Public Art Project, we're calling it the 3rd Street Pedestrian Mall Public Art Project, and we are nearing completion of the solicitation process. So the request for qualifications was issued in November 2022 and closed in January 2023. 3 finalists were selected to develop a proposal, and then those designs were presented in May of 2023. And then following conversations and meetings with the evaluation panel, we have been able to narrow it down to 1 artist, and we're in the process to award officially and send out those notifications. So I look forward to sharing more information at a future meeting, perhaps the October or November meeting.
This is Mary Sabo. We had initially intended for the 3rd Street Partnership for the etched poetry on 3rd. We initially intended to reserve some of the project funding to apply a concrete stain to the etched poetry. We went out and did several assessments with staff and met with got a few quotes and spoke with a few art restoration specialists, and we have decided to go ahead and leave it as is. Our assessment kind of determined that it really wouldn't help to apply stain. We had trouble discovering what would be an appropriate material to use, and I think we're happy with leaving it as is, so we're just going to close this project out.
This is Holly Lay. The AMP Arts District Utility Cabinet Painting Program is completed, yay, and our reception is 10/5/23, 5 to 7 p.m. I also want to ask if any of you are interested in maybe attending and saying some remarks. Please let me know if you're interested and available. We also have some more AMP boxes in the community from community requests that we're hoping to have completed by the end of the year.
For the Casino Center Pocket Park Sculpture Project, on June 28th, 4 project finalists presented their proposals to the evaluation panel for this project. The panel unanimously selected an artist to award, and we are still in the contract negotiation process and finishing up some final paperwork. So we hope to be able to share that contract has been executed with you soon.
This is Laura Machado. We're also working on the Civic Plaza Public Art Project. We've discussed it in past meetings. The request for proposal was extended to 7 artists: Alice Aycock, Ball Nogue Studio, the Lipsky Group, Cliff Garten, Creative Machines, Future Forms, and Soft Lab. We'll share the final design proposals in late October with the mayor, city management, and council before coordinating evaluations and community outreach.
Rebecca Holden. For conservation and maintenance, just a reminder that we do conduct regular condition and inventory reports of items in the collection, and these reports are used to generate a listing of current maintenance and conservation efforts. So members of the public are always encouraged to reach out to us with any conservation, maintenance, graffiti concerns, or general collections care items relating to the collection at publicart@lasvegasnevada.gov, but you're always welcome to reach out to any one of us. I'll have a further update on item 9 regarding the budget update for the year for fiscal year 23 with the maintenance allocation. But we did this year have $70,000 allocated, and then we have continued to work through the start of fiscal year 2024, which began July 1st. We've just used existing materials to subsidize some of the maintenance needs needed until the final vote of funding for fiscal year 24. So next slide, thank you. So one of these is the Atomic Passage benches. Omero Hidalgo from our team did a great job removing some extensive graffiti that was on one of the benches. So he was able to remove that and then also repaint the bench and restore it. Additionally, an AMP utility cabinet that is located at Charleston Boulevard and Rancho Drive. That one was originally painted by Andrea Pavles, and Kimberly Polito from our team went out and removed the graffiti using the existing chemicals we have that works in tandem with that protective coating.
Laura Machado. Luis Varela Rico completed the restoration for Radial Cemetery. The project was completed in June.
Holly Lay. We are working with RLA Conservation to repair the sculpture. They came out this week and did an assessment, so I'm hoping to hear from them with their plan and the budget for that in the next few weeks.
This is Mary Sabo. The East Las Vegas banner project is complete with over 90 banners printed with 10 artworks. This project graces Stewart Avenue from Eastern to Nellis.
Laura Machado. Life Source by Denise DeWart, formerly titled Flourish. This is an artistic sidewalk wayfinding design that was reimagined for the cultural corridor that will be installed along Las Vegas Boulevard from Stewart to Washington. The project is currently on hold pending development near Cashman Center. We're also working on a project, James Gay Park Public Art Project. This is also on hold pending reopening plans for the park.
Rebecca Holden. I'm excited to share some major updates for the Medical District Public Art Project. The Arts Commission allocated $436,000 towards public art in the Medical District for fiscal year 2023. From that, we developed, working with the Office of Ward 1, City Management, internal and external stakeholders, we were able to develop an entire public art plan for the district, which identified 5 key locations for public art. Next slide, thank you. So the 5 projects are the Rancho Gateway, Wellness Way Mural, Wellness Way Gateway, Payward Drive, and Shadow Lane. So we also were able to leverage the funding from the Percent for the Arts funding, as well as in order to obtain additional capital improvement projects funds from the Ward 1 office, who's generously contributed $236,550 towards the project. So very excited to move forward with these. They are listed in order of priority with the exception of the Wellness Way mural, which is, I'll get into, I won't be touching on in this today because it's capital improvement funds and not Percent for the Arts funds, but I will provide an update at the October meeting for that one. So first off is the Rancho Gateway project, and so we're seeking to commission original artwork for the intersection of Rancho Drive and Rancho Lane in the Las Vegas Medical District. So there will be a slight realignment of this current roadway, and it will give us a really nice kind of triangular parcel, and we're hoping to have an artist activate the entire space. So very exciting, and that's going to be a key location as a gateway leading people into the medical district. Also, we'll be leveraging the gateway area at Wellness Way and South Martin Luther King Boulevard in the medical district. So we'll also be seeking to commission an original work of art for that area, likely a sculpture as well. So it will be within that landscaping area of the city's property.
This is Holly Lay. We are currently working on the scope for this project on the corner of Payhort and Charleston Boulevard.
Rebecca Holden, and the final project will be at Shadow Lane, and so we'll be commissioning an original work of art for Shadow Lane between Hastings Avenue and West Charleston Boulevard. So we'll continue to work with different stakeholder groups for each one of these and build out those project scopes and hopefully unveil them in a staggered approach that's in alignment with the larger public works initiatives and property owner initiatives in the area. So very excited for these major updates, and we look forward to giving you more information at future meetings for the individual projects.
This is Laura Machado. As you know, we worked on a project, the Municipal Courthouse Public Art Project. Domsky Glass and In-House Productions completed the project, and there was a dedication event that was held on June 22nd, 2023. We're excited to have this project complete. It really looks wonderful.
Rebecca Holden, an update for the public art master planning process. The city hired Art Builds Community, part of a team that includes Barbara Goldstein from our original 2013 master plan. And so the Art Builds Community team has worked over the past several months, concluding in July, with community outreach and engagement and facilitating an online and paper survey as well. And so they're now compiling that information, and they'll be providing an update to the Arts Commission at the October 19th, 2023 meeting as an agenda item.
This is Mary Sabo. While that concludes our current percent for the arts funded projects, I also wanted to share with you today a list of some of the other projects that our team is currently working on that are not funded through Percent for the Arts. So this is just a sampling, and we wanted to share this with you in a list form without getting too deeply into it. And funding sources for some of these projects include CIP funding, General Fund, Public Works, the Mayor's Fund for Life, and ward-specific CIP funding. So if you kind of take a look on there and you've seen some of these projects before on slides, such as the Contemporary Public Art Project, Historic West Side Mural Program. These are all in various states of progress and semi-completion. And that's, yeah, let us know if you have any questions about any of these projects specifically, or any of the Percent for the Arts projects that we went through.
This is Commissioner Clevin. I wonder, how do these projects get assigned their funding source?
This is Mary Sabo. Usually it comes from the department. So if Public Works, for example, I'll give you this example too. I think it's, so if you look on here, the parking meter art wraps project, that was a project that came from, that was an idea from Parking Services. They wanted to give back, some of their funding to the arts community, and they, wanted to incorporate it with what they do. So that's kind of how that came about, and they wanted to use their funding for it. Otherwise, ward-specific projects that can usually sometimes come from the ward office. So I would say that usually the funding is attached to the idea, oftentimes.
Commissioners on the line, are there any questions?
This is Commissioner Douglas. No questions from me. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you. That was a great report, lots of projects. And then with me coming off the board, I just want to say thank you as well to just the staff and this commission. I am here and available and will still be with Clark County, so if you all need anything, let me know. And it is always important for us to work together, so with the educational stuff, I'll keep in touch and we'll see how we can bounce that back and forth between city and county. So, yeah, thank you.
All right, not hearing any other discussion items, we're going to move on to item 7, a report by Cultural Affairs staff regarding our current financial update to the Percent for the Arts Fund.
This is Maggie Plaster, Vice Chair. I have a very short report. I'm pleased to say that our funding to allocate from Percent for the Arts for this next fiscal year is $1,165,100. And that is $188,000 more than last year's amount, so it's the most we've ever been allocated for Percent for the Arts in a year.
This is Commissioner Clevin. Maggie, can you give a little background on why we have more money? Is it because there are more projects happening?
We have more funding for capital projects in general, and so this number represents 1% of the capital projects that are paid for with the city's general fund.
All right. Anybody have questions regarding how much money we got to spend? All right, seeing none. Commissioners on the line, any questions? Okay.
This is Commissioner Douglas. No questions from me, and very pleased that the amount has been increased for the arts for the city. Thank you.
Great. We're going to move on to item 8, a report summarizing the Project Development Subcommittee of the Arts Commission meeting of August 17th, 2023. All right. So at the subcommittee meeting, we did have a presentation by Meow Wolf representatives regarding a proposal for a mural project in Ward 4. The representatives from Meow Wolf shared a presentation for a collaborative mural project with the city that staff will be, they'll be presenting in the next item. It is a really wonderful private and public partnership, so I'm excited for the staff to update everybody on that. We also had let's see, a report by Cultural Affairs staff regarding upcoming capital improvement projects. Through a PowerPoint presentation, staff provided a list of upcoming capital improvement projects that are currently in the design stage. They noted that some projects on the list have public art elements already planned or in progress, while others have existing public art elements. During this item, we were able to talk to another member from the city and ask how public art is thought about in the planning stage of a project, and so it was interesting to hear sometimes it's thought about and sometimes it's not, but it's on their mind. So I think the work of the Arts Commission is good to keep all public art on their mind as they're planning the project. We also discussed possible action regarding new projects to be reviewed, and the staff will go over that in the next item. But briefly, we talked about the adding projects, the West Side Education and Training Center mural and sculpture, allocating $275,000 for that. The Civic Center Plaza second sculpture, we are allocating $220,000 for that piece. The Civic Center building interior artwork, $275,000 for that. The Public Art Maintenance Fund, we're going to allocate $70,000 to take care of the collection. Acting Chair Curran also asked if the proposed budget amount needed to be increased for maintenance, and Ms. Holden thought that was a good idea, and Acting Chair suggested the amount should be $80,000. The Paintbrush Gateway Maintenance Project, we're allocating $110,000 for that. The Meow Wolf mural project, staff is allocating $500 for coating and primer. This is what Meow Wolf requested, so again, another great public and private partnership there, making our dollars go a lot further. The Doc Romero Skate Park mural project, allocating $49,500. And then the East Las Vegas Neighborhood Revitalization Project, a Justin Favela sculpture at $275,000. We had further discussion between commissioners and staff regarding the discrepancy between the total of all new proposed projects and the transfer amount. Staff considered the comments from the commissioners, and the agreement was to readjust some of the projects in consideration of the transfer amount, and we'll hear about those adjustments in the next item. It was a very robust meeting. We had lots of conversation. It was a long meeting, so I thought it was quite productive. You all saw the minutes. And so if there's no discussion, we can move on to the next item 9, and that is a discussion for possible action regarding the upcoming year's projects and budget allocations not to exceed $1,165,000 of the Percent for the Arts Fund. And I'll send it over to staff.
Thank you, Jennifer, for that lovely summary. So as Jennifer said, we're going to go back through this list of proposed projects for allocation of funding. So we did kind of readjust some of these projects to bring that total down so that it fits within the transfer amount. So we'll go ahead and get into some of these projects and talk about what they entail. So without further ado, the West Side Education and Training Center mural and sculpture, and this proposed budget is $275,000. The College of Southern Nevada is partnering with the City of Las Vegas to build the new upcoming center in the historic West Side. It's going to be a facility near Washington Avenue and D Street intended to help unemployed and underemployed residents with training and job placement. And the facility's design team has identified locations for an exterior mural and sculpture, renderings of which can be seen here.
This is Laura Machado. We are also bringing a new project for the Civic Center Plaza. We have identified a second location within the plaza area. And you can see it's here highlighted in red, the location and the size available. The proposed budget for this project is recommended at $250,000. We're also working on the interior space of the Civic Center building. We've identified, along with the architect, several locations for two-dimensional and three-dimensional artwork. On the first floor lobby, there's open wall space. There's also an entryway area for potential suspended installation, as well as wall space and an opportunity for multiple three-dimensional installations on the second floor. The proposed budget for this project is recommended at $100,000.
Rebecca Holden. The next item on the list is public art maintenance proposed by the City of Las Vegas, and that's the allocation of funding for maintenance and conservation of the entire collection in fiscal year 2024. It covers all wards, and as Chair Clevin mentioned, the proposed budget is $80,000 based on those conversations held by the Education Subcommittee. So I do have some exciting information. I got to share it at the last meeting, and I wanted to share it with you all as well. So sorry, this might not be new information for some of you. Sorry, Jennifer, Chair Clevin, I saw you get a sparkle in your eyes. You thought I was going to give you new information. But we've been working really hard to, as part of our inventory and maintenance efforts, really get our records keeping system updated to where it needs to be so that we can transition to a web-based platform, making our collection accessible and also giving much more ease of access for our team to manage that collection. And so better keep track of where things are, make a better effort to update those records accordingly. So with that being said, I was able to pull some data for our fiscal year 2023 collection and our maintenance expenses. So first off, of the $70,000 that were allocated towards the overall maintenance of the collection last year, I do have a correction. We spent $70,716.29. We received a finance report on Tuesday of this week, and I was able to comb through some of those expenses and really find out where the overage was. And luckily, the $2,000 that we thought we were over on, in addition to that, was a miscoding, so we are good on that. But 85% of that 70,000 amount was spent on professional services, including consultants, specialized labor, and art handling. 13% was spent on supplies, including plaques and signage, chemicals and protective coatings and tools. And then 2% was spent on artistic services, which includes hiring the original artist to complete repairs on the artworks. And then overall, on the right-hand side there, to give you an idea of our entire permanent collection, we oversee a collection of over 1,400 objects collectively, with an estimated value of over $3 million. This collection includes 786 portable permanent collection objects. So of that listing, 151 includes reproductions of historic photographs, such as those acquired from the Las Vegas News Bureau and the collection of city elected officials, which are located outside of the council chambers. We also have 337 painted storm drains and utility cabinets, 126 publicly sited objects, both indoor and outdoor, 55 murals, both indoor and outdoor, and then 167 miscellaneous items, which includes some pedestals along Main Street, printed vinyl banners, 18B metal banners, so it's just some odds and ends there. So a very large collection of works, and requesting $80,000 to maintain all of that within fiscal year 2024. Thank you. Next slide. So the next proposed project is Paintbrush Gateway Maintenance, proposed by the City of Las Vegas Department of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs. And that's the proposed allocation of funds to secure lighting design services for the maintenance and conservation of the artworks. And these are located, there are two of them. So one is located at South Casino Center Boulevard and South 4th Street along Charleston Boulevard. They're both located along Charleston Boulevard. One is at Casino Center and one is at 4th Street. And then the proposed budget is $110,000. And so I wanted to give just a little bit more contextual information for that. So members may recall in December 2022, staff reported on the condition of the Paintbrush Gateway sculptures by Dennis Oppenheim and the intent to work with the estate of Dennis Oppenheim and also their recommended lighting designer in 2023 in order to achieve solutions for maintenance, repair, and conservation. And so after that strategic conversation, we decided we would approach during the next funding cycle, which is now, to request more funding or specific funding from the Arts Commission. Additionally, between when I last met with the Education Subcommittee and now, earlier this month on September 6th, Jamie Gellis of Centro Consulting provided a listing to the Las Vegas City Council, I believe it was item 42, of a listing of 5 recommendations regarding the Las Vegas Arts Commission, or Arts District. So Centro was hired by the City of Las Vegas and worked closely with Maggie Plaster, our current director of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs, and then they also working with the Office of Economic, or Department of Economic and Urban Development to develop recommendations for the Arts District as a whole. I think you're all probably have some level of awareness of the concerns with the Arts District. So through those services provided by Centro, they conducted over 100 meetings and interviews with Arts District stakeholders and city staff, received over 300 responses to a community survey, and then based on all of this engagement, developed 5 recommendations which were presented to City Council, the first of which was a strategy to formalize the identity of the Arts District and specifically called out the need to restore the Paintbrush Gateway project within that. So following their presentation, which was well received by council with a lot of support, we were also approached by representatives of the Las Vegas Centennial Commission, and we'll be meeting with them as well to see if there's a possibility to source repair funding from their granting process, leveraging the dedicated funding from the Arts Commission, the strategic recommendation from Centro, and support from the Las Vegas City Council. So furthermore, I was contacted yesterday by the Oppenheim estate, And so they are anxiously awaiting an update following the meeting this evening of the outcome of this conversation. So in continuation of all of these efforts, the proposed allocation of $110,000 in funding will allow for essentially an assessment and incremental steps to improve the condition of the artwork, rather than trying to immediately ask for a large sum of funding that may be a little bit intimidating in looking at the relative cost for other projects this commission works with. Thank you.
This is Holly Lay. Meow Wolf is proposing an exterior mural and community workshops at Police Memorial Skate Park with artist Randria Mandroso. Meow Wolf will provide $20,000 in artist fees for the mural, materials, and community engagement workshops. They are asking the city provides the location for the mural, a location for the workshops, maintenance, and anti-graffiti coating. The mural will be 665 square feet, and the design will fit into this parameter in the image of the skate park you can see here. As far as the contracting, we are discussing that right now. Meow Wolf is doing the artistic services aspect of the contract. We'll be providing a contract with both parties to cover liability and VERA rights.
This is Mary Sabo. The next project, which was proposed by a community member and artist, local artist, skateboarder, and business owner Nico Rusin has proposed an exterior mural at the Doc Romeo Skate Park. As a local skater and patron of this park, he would like to work with community and create a large scale mural in the bowl of the skate park as featured here in this rendering. And this other image, you may have seen this mural downtown. This is some of his previous work. The materials for this proposed project have been researched so that they would be scratch and slip resistant. The idea would be to not impact the way the skate park feels for the folks that use it and provide something that enhances the park visually. And the proposed budget for this project is $49,500.
This is Holly Lay. The East Side Neighborhood Revitalization Project, Listos y Seguros, has asked Cultural Affairs to procure a prominent artist from the East Side to create a substantial sculpture. Justin Favella's name was brought up in community meetings as a prominent artist who does not have a public artwork in the city's collection. After discussing his interest and availability, we would like to invite him to create a proposal within the allotted budget. He has mentioned casting materials, but nothing has been solidified yet. This parcel is near to where Justin grew up, and he is very familiar with the area and neighborhood. He will conduct community outreach during the process of developing and installing the sculpture. And the budget for this is $275,000.
This is Mary Sabo. That concludes our presentation of new proposed projects. I'm going to just kind of skip back to this first slide where you can see everything all at once, and you all have in your binders a blank, or not a blank sheet, but you have this list version with the total proposed. So I'll just start off by asking if any commissioners have any questions or concerns about any of these projects or any of the proposed budgets.
Yeah, I wanted to see, do we have a breakdown of this Doc Romeo's skate park proposal of what all of that funding would be allocated to for?
This is Mary Sabo. Yeah, so this was the number that was provided by the artist. This is the budget that the artist came to us with for what that would cost to execute, all inclusive of materials.
And so the imagery that was shown was the imagery that would be painted, because then it was confusing because there was also a community element to it, but then they were already bringing up a design.
This is Holly Lay. This artist reached out to want to include the skate park members and have them come and help paint. I also believe he was thinking to pay some people to help him paint, so that was part of the budget. There was more of a breakdown of why his budget is the way it is, and he wants to do the entire skate park, and going off of basic, the $20 a square foot that we usually go with, it would have been a lot more, but this is a passion project for this artist, so that's why he is doing it at a much lower dollar amount per square foot.
Okay, and then the only other thing I would warn about is, so we did a mural at Winchester, and it changed the way that people skate, and it became a little confusing. So I would just be curious, like, just make sure you understand that maybe the rating of the skate park would need to be elevated to advance if you're going to paint a skate park, if it goes through.
This is Commissioner Douglas, and I was just curious if there was any other color choices for this, because skating into a darker pit is not comfortable. But I'm for this. I think it's visually, aesthetically pleasing, with the circles and such, these different radiuses that go around. But I would be curious to see the entire budget proposal for this, because this can't be the only singular image that they might have had. But yeah, I'm really curious about this project.
This is Mary Saba. I agree with both of those comments from Commissioner Douglas and Commissioner Sprout. I think maybe a little bit more information would be helpful for this project, and also making sure that the community is heavily involved with making sure that the people that actually use this facility are on board with it.
This is Laura Machado. We do have his proposal, which includes about 3 or 4 designs. So the one here that we're showing is just one of those design proposals. One is a bright pink and yellow. And then he did provide a line itemized budget for the amount of square foot for the concrete stain, the clear coat, the supplies, and then the artistic fee. Like Holly had mentioned, it's well under, because of the square footage is so large, it's reduced for the amount that it normally would have been. But we can definitely share this proposal with you at the next meeting, if that's something you would like to see.
This is Vice Chair Plaster. Since this is not how we typically select designs for projects, how are you proposing that we select for this one? Is that something staff was going to do, or was this Arts Commission going to vote on the design?
I think that this is part of the conversation when we're talking about the project. If you would like to, or if we've decided that we want to create an evaluation panel to review these various designs and have more feedback on whether or not certain colors work for certain locations, we can do that.
Well, and this is Mickey Sprout. I think we kind of hit it on the head, though, that the community is probably the most important, and maybe there should be some evaluation happening at the community level to these projects, and in specifically this one. It's a lot better to have the community engage, and they understand what's happening and can interact with our art a little bit more, right?
Yeah, I'd like to echo what you said about that and involving the skate community in this process, because it's not just a visually stunning moment for people to go and visit and skate. This is the backdrop for many skaters' videos, Instagram clips. Like, this is something that's going to be the stage for many different recordings. And so I just want to make sure that we are getting some feedback from the skate community, but yeah, I don't know the process of that.
He is a member of the skate community. I think he skates there weekly. But we can definitely bring this back to him and talk about community engagement so that we make sure that all of the voices are heard and develop. I think this is definitely his artistic style, but happy to have more engagement with the community.
Commissioners, any other discussion about any of these projects that staff have presented? Commissioners on the line?
So then I would say, then when you talk about Justin's piece, then that also, as Maggie asked, how is that being evaluated as far as what is being proposed? So does it get to come back to this art commission for them to look and review those designs? Or is that city staff doing that?
This is Mary Sabo. I just want to kind of clarify, city staff, we're not selecting any designs ourselves for any of these projects. For this project, the East Las Vegas Neighborhood Revitalization Project, this was just a concept, just the notion of them wanting a sculptural project. There's no design at this point in time. This was just a consideration of an artist, the identifying of a location, and now this is the request for budget to start actually going through the process of obtaining something for that space. So it would just be our normal process of putting together an evaluation panel of stakeholders.
This is Commissioner Hackett-Morgan, and I guess I'd like to kind of just throw out, especially with, I think, an artist who is definitely really a homegrown hero. Yes. Not emphasizing involving the community in the actual selection of what's going to be in their space. We're missing an opportunity to really engage people in what they're doing. I mean, I was thinking about that when we were talking about skaters, and Commissioner Douglas's very astute comment about them using this as the backdrop for their own production and video and things that they're doing. I mean, I think it's really, we're missing a point if we're not engaging our citizens in getting involved in this process. I don't think they'll lead us astray. I think it will strengthen their support for the arts and support for the expenditure of public funds on public art.
This is Mary Sabo. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, when I say stakeholders, that is community members.
And I just had a question about the proposed project for the Meow Wolf mural. It's proposed, but it's already done. So what is the part of the commissioners to do or react to? Have we supplied the anti-graffiti coat? Are we going to engage in any other, like an unveiling? Or has this already been done? Because I see proposed by, but it's already finished and it's beautiful.
This is Laura Machado. That's just an example of his past work. So when Meow Wolf came and they were presenting this artist, they gave that image, and it's one of the city's wonderful new murals. But they're going to be working with the community. They're having, actually, Holly just had a meeting at one of the community centers to set up a community engagement event to talk about the design. Then he'll develop it. Meow Wolf is going to pay Yandri a service fee or artistic services fee, develop that, and then paint the mural, and we're going to be providing the anti-graffiti coating and any costs for the community engagement event also. I just wanted a side note too with Justin Favela. We met with him and he was really interested about having multiple community meetings. So we haven't gotten to a point to develop a scope or anything. We're just trying to come to the Arts Commission and ask you for your blessing to have this money to set aside to start the conversation. But knowing that in all of these, we definitely want to have community engagement.
This is Commissioner Clevin, and at the Project Development Subcommittee, we did talk at length about the Meow Wolf project and Neandre's background as a community organizer and what his process is. So he always goes into the community with many workshops before anything's produced, and then he gets the approval of the committee before moving forward. So I think it was just an example, and probably should have mentioned that's an example of his work, not what is going to be produced.
Okay, and thank you so much for that clarification. That was a big misunderstanding on my part. I was like, this is already done. But yes, Andrew's an amazing artist, and I'm really glad that he's a part of this Las Vegas community. Hope to see more murals from this amazing artist. And I think this sounds really good, to, move forward.
Commissioner Hackett-Morgan, I just want a point of clarification because I just don't know what this is, and I'm going to mangle the pronunciation of it. But under the East Las Vegas project, could someone explain what the project coordinating with the city's NRSA Listas y Seguros? Seguros, thank you, program. Could someone explain what that is?
This is Holly Lay. It is their program to really get into the neighborhoods and talk to the community about security and safety, which is what the Listos y Seguros is, like safe and ready in Spanish. And since there is such a high number of Spanish-speaking citizens in that part of Vegas, it's been something where the community has really asked for one of their own to come in and make a piece that is substantial and more contemporary art, which I thought was great to hear. So,
Commissioners on the line, do you have questions or discussion with these items?
I do have a question just about the budget that's allocated. So this is what's proposed for the year, but what was the total again for next year? Is the total proposed for next year $1,140,000, or what is the entire budget?
This is Mary Sable. So yeah, so this total here that you see, the 1,100,000. My number brain is not working. This number that you see, this is the total of all of these proposed budgets. And then, so that's what we're proposing. It was higher at our project our project development subcommittee meeting last month. It was higher than our actual transfer amount. So this is the readjusted amount. This is under our transfer amount. That will leave a bit of cushion there. So the transfer amount is what Maggie mentioned earlier, the 1.165, I think. So this is under that. If that answers your question, sorry.
Maggie Plaster, and not to create a kink in the plans, but knowing that we do have some funding that is freed up in other ways, I think we could spend this entire, or allocate this entire 1.165, and still have cushion if it was ever needed.
And just going back to, Commissioner Douglas, going back to the Doc Romeo Skate Park mural, and I know that it was mentioned that this was less than the square foot amount that is normally allocated for mural type projects. Is it equitable? Like, if we're looking at this artist to do this project, but we have another artist that's doing a similar project or has done one, at a skate park, is it comparable? Is it fair?
And this is Commissioner Clevin, now that there's a little bit more money we have $25,000 to allocate to a potential project. This could bridge the equity gap.
That's a great point. Thank you for bringing that up, because that is something that we have been discussing quite a bit recently, is equity of, specifically for mural projects where there's typically a standard, a range of standard rates. So that is definitely something to consider.
It's also design.
Okay, this is Commissioner Clevin. So in order to move the discussion along, we're looking for, this is also an action item, so we do want to see a motion to approve. One thing I'd like to include is we just talked about adding that additional $25,000. So if everybody is amendable to that, I do think that this project warrants an increase. We'd also, with Mickey and Fawn's comments about community involvement and seeing the final art piece, I think that's another critical component of that project. I'm saying all of this in the hopes that I'll hear a motion from one of our commissioners.
Commissioner Westfield, but do we know about how much it should be? Because she suggested that we should look at other skate parks and maybe compare. I mean, are we just throwing numbers out at it? Are we just throwing numbers at this?
They could do it next week.
This is Holly Lay. I don't have the exact number of square footage of, with us right now, but I do remember it being close to $500,000 because the skate park is very massive, and that's at $20 a square foot. The artist, of course, we had this discussion with the artist that we can't give you $500,000, we don't have that, but if you find this to be a passion project and something you really want to do, which is, he came to us with this proposal, it's kind of like an in-kind donation to paint this. And for him, he has a method, and I think this method for him, he's not worried about it taking as much time as, if it was something real, hyper-realistic or something. So it is a simpler process. It's still a lot of work, and he should get $20 a square foot at minimum, but like I said, the in-kind donation aspect is part of this.
This is Commissioner Hackett Morgan. I'd like to move that we accept staff's proposed recommendation of $1.14, I can't pronounce it, $1,140,000 for these proposed projects in fiscal year 2024.
But we wanted to allocate $25,000 more to the Doc Romero Park.
And as an addition, to allocate an additional $25,000 to the Doc Romeo Skate Park mural project, bringing the total to $1,165,000 for fiscal year 2024. Wow, I got it out there. It's a late meeting.
This is Commissioner Douglas. I'll second that motion to allocate $1,165,000 towards the arts for fiscal year 24.
All right, now we vote. All in favor, please say aye, and don't forget folks on the phone.
Aye.
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 Awesome. Motion passes. Thank you for a great discussion. Okie dokie, we'll move on to item number 10, discussion for possible action regarding the acceptance of a donation of artwork titled Pangea by Emily Budd into the city's permanent artwork collection. There is no fiscal impact.
Hi, this is Laura Machado. Recently, we worked with artist Emily Budd. She was involved in the Forever Queer exhibition that's currently on display at Charleston Heights Art Center. She contacted us and offered a donation of an artwork. It's titled Pangea. It is an acrylic mirror, plywood, and painted wall-mounted work of art. Emily Budd, if you're not familiar, is a contemporary artist and educator in Las Vegas. She currently teaches sculpture at UNLV. The wall-mounted sculpture is approximately 76 inches by 48 inches by 1 inch. It's valued at $2,500 and has no additional fees necessary to support the ongoing display of this artwork. Staff recommends the Arts Commission consider accessioning the sculpture into the city's art collection. Photographs of the artwork is located in your backup material. If there's any questions, happy to answer.
Questions from commissioners on the line or commissioners on the desk?
Commissioner DeSantis, do you have installation place for this sculpture, or is it going to go into storage, or?
We actually have a city attorney, a new city attorney, who's extremely excited to have a place for this in his new office.
Good.
This is Commissioner Saproat. I motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Great, motion passes. We'll move on to item 11, a discussion for possible action regarding the appointment of Superior Chuck to replace Mickey Sprott on the Arts Commission effective at the October 19th, 2023 Arts Commission meeting. So I'll give everybody a little bit of background on Superior. Superior Chuck is an ink painter and installation artist born in Hong Kong and based in Las Vegas, Nevada. Chuck's work often utilizes a blend of Sumi and India ink, symbolizing the mixture of her identities. Chuck has exhibited in numerous exhibitions, including those at the Institute of Contemporary Arts Los Angeles, Orange County Contemporary Art Center, Center for Contemporary Art Texas, Master Museum, the Natura Museum, and Yellowstone Art Museum. Chuck works for the Nevada Arts Council, serves as the art editor for the Museum of Americana, and teaches at the College of Southern Nevada. She received her BA at University of California, Riverside, and an MFA from Cal State University, San Bernardino. So Sapira is a really active arts member of the community, and I am really excited that she's interested in joining this commission. I know that she'll be an active commissioner. Any more discussion?
This is Commissioner Saproat. I motion to approve.
Commissioner Hackett Morgan, I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Great, motion passes. Thank you, everyone. And we'll move on to item number 12, discussion for possible action regarding the annual election of officers. So this is for the chair, vice chair, and second chair positions. There's certainly no reason for me to stay on as chair. If somebody wants to take over this role, that same goes for our existing vice chair, which is Maggie Plaster, and our second vice chair, Susan Hackett Morgan. If we have other commissioners that are interested in taking on these roles, this is sort of a self-nomination period.
Maggie Plaster, I do want to say that, first of all, thank you, Jennifer, for being the chair for the last year. And I know that usually the vice chair moves up to chair. It seems like that's been the pattern, but I feel like I should not be chair or vice chair because I've got my, I'm in both worlds, right? I'm on the commission, but I'm also city staff. So I think it would be better to have a non-city staff person be chair and vice chair.
This is Commissioner Hackett Morgan. Well, last year at this time, didn't we talk about me being first vice chair? And I was a big wuss, and I said, I'll be second vice chair because I'm from Beatty, and what do I know? But I would be willing to move into the vice chair position, and I'm very sorry that I hope you're not stepping away. Yes, no?
I would be, this is Commissioner Clevin, I'd be willing to stay on as chair for an additional year if the commission so chooses.
I think you should, so stay on.
So if you would like me to go into the first vice chair now that what else am I going to do? But I think there's some other commissioners that I would love to see step up and take on a leadership role that way. If I do it, you got to do it.
Any commissioners interested in moving into the second vice chair role? If I don't hear any, I will nominate someone.
I would be interested. Oh, unless somebody else was just
Go ahead.
going.
Good, she did.
Commissioners on the line, any feedback or interest in taking on one of these roles? Okay, hearing none. I think we need a motion on this.
Maggie Plaster, I'll make a motion for Jennifer Clevin to serve as chair, Suzanne Hackett Morgan to serve as vice chair, and Fawn Douglas to serve as second vice chair for the next year. I second it.
All right, commissioners, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, motion passes. We're in for another fun year. We'll move on to item number 13, discussion regarding topics for future agenda items. Comments made during this portion of the agenda by individual members shall refer solely to proposals for future agenda items, and any discussion shall be limited to whether or not such proposed items are within the purview of the commission and or whether such proposed items shall be placed on a future agenda. No discussion regarding the substance of any such proposed topics shall occur and no action shall be taken. Commissioners, do we have any items we want on the agenda?
Maggie Plaster, when do we talk about serving on committees and having committees?
This is Mary Zaba. We can talk about that at the next meeting. I can put that as an agenda item.
Great, thank you.
Commissioner Clevin, since we had so much discussion about the Doc Randa or Romero Park, at some point in the future, we'd just like to circle back to that on some agenda at some time.
Noted.
Great. Any other future agenda items? Okay, seeing none, we'll go on to item 14, citizens' participation. Do we have any public comment during this portion? Sir?
If there isn't anybody but me, I've got some public comment. Okay, thank you. I just wanted to introduce Aaron Polonsky. He's a current law student at UNLV. He's externing in our office this fall. And he's indicated an interest in sports law, but after this meeting, I'm sure he will migrate to art law if there is such a thing.
Hi everyone, my name is Aaron. I am interested in sports heavily. I'm a 3L, so I graduate in May. Art, I don't know. I think sports is an art, so if y'all doing like arts with sports, that could be cool. Yeah, I get kind of like X Games stuff. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, nice to see everyone.
County's doing the stadium right now for a SAP, so it can. Allegiant.
So nice to meet you, and welcome to the team. And I do have the question for the commissioners, and I don't know if this is the right time to even inquire. But earlier I did mention that the Las Vegas Paiute tribe has their 31st annual powwow, and this is a celebration of Native American culture and heritage. And this is something the city has never funded. And, you know, similar to the El Dorado Fair being something that's very nostalgic and very important to our communities, we also have this event that's very important to the community. And I'm wondering if this is something or a question that belongs with the historic preservation, or is this a discussion that leans into the arts for support for such an amazing event that brings, well, for the Las Vegas Paiute tribe, there's 49 members, one of the smallest tribes in North America, but for our Native American community, it's over 50,000 plus. Yeah, I'm going to say plus, so don't quote me, but I know it's much more. And so this is the big one that people gather at, and it's, you know, not just for the Native community, but for everybody to learn about the diversity of our cultures.
This is Commissioner Clement. I think that's a really good project for the Centennial Commission because it affects a really large population. We can talk about that.
It's Commissioner Hackett Morgan, and it's already on my list to go. I try to go as often as I can to it, and my friend Tony from the DINA is going to come up just specifically to go to it with me, so I'm happy about that. I think it does need support, and I think the Centennial Commission is good, but I'm not going to say that I don't think we're not a sort, so I'm just going to say that. Don't forget Goldwell. We'll send money.
Hearing no other citizens' participation, I adjourn this meeting.